If you're following Debt vs. Heard, you might know there's a little issue going around the community you might have seen before on some channels, in comments on Twitter and things like that, to leave Amber alone, don't give her a platform, just ignore her. And I understand the gut reaction to this. You know, leave her alone, she'll go away, companies will think nobody likes her. But here's the problem. First of all, there's a couple of angles here. If you leave her alone, and let's be clear, I'm not for hateful, very insulting, childish comments and memes and things like that. The occasional joke is okay, but in general, we're not talking about actual insulting here. We're talking about pointing out facts. She's got a DUI, she's wanted for perjury in Australia, or committed perjury in Australia. She illegally taped Johnny in California, and she's been intoxicated in quite a few interviews and speeches and things like that. Now, spreading factual words like that is fine. Okay, so my point is this. If you stop criticizing her, then her fan base is just going to grow and keep growing and growing. And not only the fan base, but the companies that don't like the verdict and want to keep hiring her and put her in movies and TV shows will be like, okay, you know, the trolls, the hate went away, so it's safe to bring her back out now. The people who know about Amber Heard and what she did and the truth of the matter are not the people who are going to support her anyway. You spreading your word around, like I said, mature, critical facts, cannot help her in any way. If you think like maybe a handful of fringe people who never heard of Amber Heard are going to look at that comment that's negative and ignore it and go find out who she is and become a fan, honestly, that number's got to be a really, really tiny portion of people, even in the general population. If they go research her, what they're going to find first is probably the Virginia verdict. Then they'll probably find some criticism. Okay, then they might find she was in The Stand or Aquaman and Aquaman 2 maybe. So that's not going to do anything. So this person here says, no offense, you guys really need to stop giving Amber and her team YouTube presence. You're keeping her relevant. I understand you get views, but seriously, effing stop giving her more attention. And I say that's up to the big channels. It has to start at the top. Then the very small channels will follow, but there are negatives to that. Think about it fully. So, okay, that is one angle. Aside from what I'm saying, it's up to the, people on top of the pyramid. My channel here, other channels of similar size, you know who they are, don't make the news, we follow the news. So if from the top down, the news stops, obviously, we're not going to follow it half as much. Yeah, here and there, in some way, shape, and form, but not in the same way. So if you go around and tell a small channel to stop giving her attention, you're not really hitting the right spot there. Not that I think it's the right thing to do totally anyway. And this person, Rebel Burton, who actually responded and took my comment seriously and somewhat changed her mind, I think, says, people really need to stop talking about this junk and giving that woman a platform to speak. And then I say that's what they want, for people to stop talking so the movie companies can hire her because the criticism went away. And that really wraps it up, is people like James Wan, Peter Safran, the CEOs at Warner Bros., who she played Monopoly with and drank hot chocolate with, the verdict to them is a nuisance. It's a hindrance. It's like a fly on the wall. It's like, oh, that verdict screwed us up. Oh, now maybe we can't hire her. Maybe we've got to think twice about it. Let's just keep her in Aquaman 2 for like 10 minutes, but, hopefully these people will go away and stop criticizing her so we could bring her back in. So if you show them you're gone, you're not listening, the negative comments are not coming anymore, well, that's when they feel it's going to be safe to bring her back out again. And for whatever reason, she's gotten to people. For whatever reason, they find it real important to keep putting her out there. I mean, think about it. It's been, around 2 months since the case ended, and no statement from anyone she worked from, L'Oreal. You think the verdict changed their mind? I don't think so. Do you think negative or positive comments will change L'Oreal's mind? I don't think so. I think their mind's made up, and unfortunately, it's on Amber's side, not to mention the media. So, if you're thinking this and the thought went through your head, just think it out in a few more layers. Hypothetically, if she was someone building a career that wasn't positive or negative, and you left her alone, well, that wouldn't be good, because then she would want attention. But she already got as much attention as one woman has gotten, like in modern history. The magnitude here is so big, cutting down on a couple of comments and things, I just think will have a very minimal effect. If anything, it could hurt people spreading good word and truth about Johnny. So if you're tired of it, which is understandable, it's not for everyone to carry something out for the long haul and just keep going and going and going and going, then, alright, maybe drop a comment, something at random, whatever it is, if you care enough to keep watching. But to be like, well, leave her alone, I just think there's negatives to that more than positive. I might flesh this out in another video, maybe talk to some other YouTubers, but I want to get my initial thoughts out there because I got some other stuff in the works. And while I'm editing, looking for stories, stuff like that, figured I'd get this one out there finally. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. By the way, sometimes I have outtakes in the end of the video, and there weren't on here. I just kind of got through it, and everything's great. And if you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.